So let's start from the beginning. I really fucked up that time, really. It's I think when people talk about their past mistakes, it's it's really hard to open yourself, but I just have to say, I have no words. I don't really know how to start this video. I have to admit it's going to be a complicated one, but I've said to myself, I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna get on top of this. Finally, I'm gonna share with the world something that is really dear to myself. It's a very important topic that I was thinking about, sharing with you guys this topic for a long time. Actually, I had an inspiration a while back when looking at some, I think it was a kind of thread on LinkedIn, some blog post that influential people have shared that was called My Worst Mistake or My Worst Business Mistake. I can't remember right now, but I remember that every time I was reading these articles on LinkedIn, I was always learning something important and very valuable. I think I just want to share with you guys what I learned from my worst mistake, business fail ever. To be honest with you, I don't even think, I don't even know, I'm not even sure if that particular mistake has been my worst mistake, because we all make mistakes. This is something that we have to learn to live with making mistakes. And I'm just gonna open myself to you, and I'm gonna talk about this thing, something that I never talked publicly about this. So this for the first time is gonna be the time when I'm gonna share with the world what happened more than 10 years ago. So let's start from the beginning. I really fucked up that time, really. It's I think when people talk about their past mistakes, it's really hard to open yourself, but it's really important because we're sharing here the most important moments of our lives, very emotional moments with very specific lessons that you can use to learn from, and it's gonna be very, very useful for you guys. So hold tight and follow me here because there is something to be learned. So my worst mistake ever, my biggest fail. What has been my worst mistake? Or better, what would have been my worst mistake ever? My worst business mistake. I'm gonna explain to you. So let's start from the beginning. It was the year 2012 and I just started working full-time in an e-commerce company. I'm not gonna share the name, but if you do some research, you're gonna probably find it yourself. The year was 2012, and I was managing at that time social media for this e-commerce discount company. And at that time, I think that from the year 2010, 2012, 2013 and 14, social media wasn't really well understood by anyone. Even though we already had a lot of agencies, professing to be, the real gurus of social media, knowing how to build a social media strategy for their clients, but actually none of us really knew what we were doing, because Facebook started gaining popularity, I remember, only not before the year 2007, 2008. This is when the first social media business pages started appearing on Facebook and then on Twitter. And companies started realizing that social media was very, very important for them. But the companies, as well as the individuals, still didn't understand how to use social media. And also social media is really, really different today. If we take a look at what is trending on social media, it is completely different from what used to be trending, or what marketing books and courses used to teach on how to properly do social media or how to structure your content. What is really engaging today? Today we live in a world where social media has become mainstream. Everyone is so obsessed with looking at their Instagram feed and TikTok, and the more the content is stupid, the more it will become engaging. I'm sorry, but most of the time it's like this. The more content is actually engaging or gives you this wow effect, or what the heck, or oh my god, didn't know that. Even though at the end, the content isn't exactly what you're expecting, because everyone is doing this for the gram, for this 15 minutes of, of fame and popularity. And people are ready to do anything to just gain popularity on social media. And the content that is shared today, I can definitely say confidently that 10 years ago, the same content would have created a lot of buzz, a lot of, controversy as it's creating today. And many of the content that we see and goes unnoticed today would have been a social media fail 10 years ago. Let's see what kind of content, people are sharing today, just for the sake of being famous, just for the sake of shaking things and letting people comment and share and talk shit about them, talk bad about them, and just, trying to get the ball rolling, whatever it takes. So things weren't like this when I started doing marketing and social media marketing in 2010, all the way to 2012. Even though we were starting to realize that to get attention and engagement on the platform, we needed to come up with some creative ideas. And at that time, it was actually a strategy followed by many companies to try to make jokes about anything and everything that was going on about the local news. And I remember that, unfortunately, I didn't want to be disrespectful or anything, but I actually wrote something on the official Twitter account of the company that I was working for at that moment, in those days. I wrote something that actually created a big backlash, and a lot of people get really pissed because something really terrible was going on. But at that time, I didn't know that that event was so terrible, and I just wrote a joke about that. The funny thing is that I launched a tweet, and right after I launched the tweet, I said, okay, it's break time, it's coffee time, I want to go get a coffee. So I actually left the tweet for around 10 or 15 minutes there on Twitter, and I didn't know that people were already raging against our company. It caused such a big backlash, and a lot of people really throwing shit at our company and and saying that we were sharks and making, trying to make use of a bad event that was happening right now. But I had no idea. At the moment where I launched the tweet, no one got hurt at that moment. But the same day, then later on, we started getting the news that actually someone got hurt. I'm not going to share the name of the company. I'm not going to share exactly what happened, but it's not rocket science. If you do some proper research, you will find what I'm talking about. But what I want to say here is what happened to me as a young, at that time I was 24, 25. It happened, it's now being 2000, we are in 2023 right now. As of today, it's July 2023. The event happened in 2012. And I was just young. I was experimenting new things. I literally had no idea that it could cause what it actually provoked in terms of interaction. But so everyone saw this as a big attack and trying to take advantage of a situation that was hurting people, even though I really had no idea once again. And I want to publicly apologize if that particular tweet hurt someone, but it definitely wasn't my intention. I didn't know that things were getting so serious. Also because we had no idea that at that time some people got hurt. Literally, I had no idea. If I was neglecting some of the news, that might have been my fault, but I was just trying to give my best to actually try to ride the waves of what was hot at that moment, and trying to make a joke about that, trying to, break the tension, because at that moment it wasn't that serious. Anyway, I was young, I did a mistake, we all make mistakes. I was also going through a period of my life where I learned a lot in that year. It was a very deeply painful year. You know, my parents were separating. I lost my dear brother, who was 22 at that moment. I lost him in January of 2012. I moved into this new city. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was learning a new job. I was insecure at that time, but I wanted to do my best to show my supervisors that I was actually capable of doing that job, and I was exploring this new world of social media marketing. So I actually tried my best, because we have to understand that why do people make mistakes? And we all make mistakes. No one doesn't make mistakes. No one is born perfect. We're all humans, right? We all make mistakes. The important thing is that once you learn your lesson, you're not going to make the same mistake again. So I wanted to prove that I could do something right, but I probably shoot too high, and actually ended up in the wrong place. So we had this huge backlash of people, you know, throwing any kind of bad offenses to our company. The funny thing is that our business didn't really suffer from that. And I was reading some of the articles that were written. I mean, of course, there's a lot of articles that were just trying to make sense, but they didn't know, because our company never disclosed who was responsible for that tweet. That company that I was working for at that time took this social media fail, this big happening, in a very professional way. And I have to say thank you so much to the responsible person that was my supervisor and their supervisor and the CEO of that company. They did really an amazing job. They didn't disclose the name of the person responsible. They didn't fire the person who was responsible, that is myself. I kept working with them for 1 more year until I decided that I had enough, that I learned enough, and then I could move on to my next venture. I think I worked actually more than 1 year. Actually, the CEO, I can't remember right now if it was the CEO or the director of marketing, sales and marketing, but they told me something really interesting. They told me, David, you fucked up. You literally fucked up. You did something terrible, but you could recognize your mistake. We recognize that you didn't do it with a very bad purpose to hurt people. So what you can do right now is just take a step back, sit down, relax, go have a holiday, don't work for 3 or 4 days, and then come back refreshed. And they told me this very thing: who doesn't work doesn't make mistakes. This is something that has changed my life, that gave me the opportunity to learn a lot and to really reframe the way that I was approaching, you know, my personal growth in business. Something that makes me laugh, you know, about people's reaction about this happening, this social media fail, was right after, I think it was the day after or the same day that I made this, you know, terrible tweet, and people were literally attacking our company from anywhere. We had hundreds of thousands of mentions and hashtags using the name of our company with fail or social media fail, and calling us, you know, terrible people and sharks, and taking advantage of the terrible situation that was happening right now, even though, once again, I had no idea that people were starting to get hurt. This happened that the CEO actually made his public excuses and apologized for what has been shared on the Twitter account, saying that the company was going to take action, was going to solve this issue, that this wouldn't happen anymore, that we were terribly sorry, that it was a mistake, and we were really, really sorry for what was said, and that was never going to happen again. And also that a part of the profit that we would have made for the next 24 or 48 hours, I can't remember right now, it's been like 11 years ago, a part of the profit would have been destined to the charity that was helping people in need for that particular event. You know what's so funny? That people had to say, bad things about this too. They were complaining that we were using still this event to make more sales for our profit. So this is really showing you that whatever you do that might be seen with bad intentions, people will always be there to constantly judge what you do and criticize what you do, even if you might be doing with good intentions. So we did put a part of the profit to the people in need. We did it, but people still had to complain. These are people who, they're still your fans. They look at you, but they don't love you. They hate you, but they still follow you. They still look at what you're doing all the time. Let me tell you, these kind of people will always be there, lurking and stalking you and following you very closely because they're just waiting for a mistake that you would do, because they're jealous of you. That's what happens. They're just looking for the best opportunity to tear you down, to tear you apart, and to bring you down. Just don't lose hope. Just always go forward, look at your dreams, and follow them, and do your best to attain your objective, to reach your objective. Never give up. This will always happen. It's still happening to me right now. It happened like a few years ago that someone wasn't happy with some of my action and they were threatening me actually to talk bad about my company. And that's actually something that they did. Let me tell you, if I had an entire country talking bad about a tweet that I did, why would I be afraid of someone else that not liking the actions of what I'm doing? This will always be there. I just want to tell you, this is not something to tell you, okay, do whatever you want. You're never going to get punished. No, that's not it. Always have an ethic. Follow your ethic. And if you do a mistake, you should apologize. You should recognize your mistake and then walk a better path. But one thing is for sure, never give up on your dreams. That is going to be your worst mistake. My worst mistake would have been giving up on my dreams because someone wanted to take me down. I do believe that, things that change the world come with shaking things. And if you want to learn something, you have to be open to making mistakes because this is what it takes. If you keep following the mainstream and what everyone thinks that is correct for you, you will probably never grow. You will always stay inside your box. So I just wanted to make this video and share this experience with you to tell you that my worst mistake would have been quitting doing social media marketing and marketing in general and SEO, would have been quitting at that time. Because many of my so-called colleagues or competitors or young students at the university who were trying to take a similar path, or even colleagues in the same company that were kind of envious of my position as social media manager, and they were salespeople at the company, and they secretly wanted to work in social media. They were all trying to bring me down, and they were asking to fire me. I know this for sure. But this didn't happen because the people on top of the company, they still believed in me. They still recognized that I was doing a good job, and they kept me there. We, as a company, we made the decision to go silent on social media for around 1 or 2 weeks, and then slowly we started posting again. This didn't hurt our sales at all. We actually had more visits. And to be honest with you, the social media marketing industry realized only later that actually doing a social media fail is not that bad. It might be shown as bad by the other blogs who just want to get clicks from social media fails of others, because talking bad about someone who's doing a mistake will give you a lot of visits. That's what everyone is doing. Talk bad about someone, use their name to get exposure for yourself. But what are you actually doing? Okay, everyone knows that you shouldn't do that. Still, a lot of blogs, a lot of influencers, social media marketing gurus were all saying the same thing. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And they were all showing, cases of social media fails, epic fail. Wow. You want to know what's epic? The fact that this event, it was just a stupid tweet. That was epic. This tweet brought for free this company on the freaking international news for one day. As much as the company has been paying for advertising, they have never been in the national and also international news. And it was done for free. Now, I'm not saying that you guys should, say stupid things or take advantage of bad events that are happening if someone is getting hurt. But I want to tell you that it's so easy to talk, to point the finger on someone that is doing something bad. Okay, then show me what you want to do. Show me how do you get out of the box and how do you get good results. Because every time that I see some articles about social media fail, I have no hate for those people who are doing these social media fails. I understand because I've been there. I've passed this, with my own sweat and tears and, anxiety. And I understand what is happening. In most of the cases, it's just a stupid mistake that could have been prevented, yes. But in most of the cases, it's just a little mistake. People didn't foresee what could have happened if they have posted that thing. But also in most of the cases, the social media fail is giving free exposure to the company that is doing this. And influencers actually understood this very well today, since 2020, 2019, since the COVID, that the more weird you are, the weirder you are, the more you make controversy, the more people are gonna talk negatively about you or positively, and the more buzz you're gonna build, and the more exposure you will get on social media. So once again, what was considered social media fail 10 years ago would definitely not be considered social media fail today. Because I see a lot of shit happening in social media, really. The world has changed. And what I want to tell you is also this. Albert Einstein said, "Who never makes mistakes has probably never tried something new." So now I want to close this video and tell you, follow your dream. If you have a dream of doing whatever kind of job, whatever kind of work or project, don't be afraid of making mistakes. If you make mistake, that's fine. Learn from the lesson. Take some time to think about it. Sit back, relax, take some days off, but don't give up. You should never give up. If I gave up because I did that mistake 11 years ago on social media, I would never have what I have right now. I can confidently say that I've been pretty successful in marketing and digital marketing. I am the owner of one of the agencies that was considered, is probably still right now, one of the top agencies when it comes to consulting for Amazon sellers. And I'm not just the only one saying that. We've been featured in BuzzFeed, Yahoo Finance, in a lot of business articles. Our articles in our blog, the blog posts that I personally written, they've been read and reshared thousands and thousands of times organically. I had an amazing career from Europe and then in China, exposing all the different kind of dirty little secrets that Chinese sellers are using in China and bringing them in the light under the eyes of entrepreneurs from Europe and America and the United States, hungry entrepreneurs who wanted to learn what was going on. And I received a lot of inquiries from my business. Our clients are generating millions of dollars every year. Some of our clients are worth billions of dollars. If I had given up just because someone wanted to take me down, to bring me down because they didn't believe in me, I wouldn't be here right now. I have 2 different companies registered. I come from Italy. None of them is in Italy. I have a company registered in Hong Kong, another one here in Thailand, in Phuket. We provide services also with different kind of businesses to 5-star hotels. We have very successful clients and we help them grow and get more customers on Amazon. We have also been doing a lot of social media campaigns, very successful campaigns for brands that are actually originally in China, teaching them how to do social media and bringing their products and communicating the value to the customers in the US and Europe. So I want to share here with you guys, the worst mistake you could do would be giving up on yourself, not believing in yourself, and then just let everyone else turn you down and then bring down the dream that you have. Once again, if you did a mistake, that's okay. Sit back. Everyone does mistakes. Everyone does it. Even the best. Who doesn't make mistakes doesn't work. If you want to experiment in something new, you will do a mistake along the way. That's just how it goes. That's just the way it is. I just wanted to share this experience with you. I wanted to tell you what would have been my worst mistake. And that would have been giving up on my social media career, digital marketing career. I wouldn't be here right now if I had given up that day. I am so glad that I had a lot of people supporting me in this journey and still believing in me, because that really gave me the strength to go on and to move on. You know, after I finished working for this amazing company that still believed in me even after this social media mistake, I had the opportunity to work for some of the top sellers from China. And then one company, then another company, then I knew it was time for me to move on and build my own agency. I've been featured, you know, in big social media platforms. I even cooperated with the Wall Street Journal. I was interviewed by one of the editors regarding black hat for that Chinese sellers are using against American or Western sellers. You know, this is giving me a lot of, you know, motivation always to go on, but you have to find the motivation within yourself. You have to believe in your dreams. So once again, I'm telling you here, don't do that mistake. I didn't do the mistake of not believing in myself, and you should never do it. If you do a mistake, recognize that you've done a mistake, sit back, relax, take some time to think about the future. Say sorry if you have to, but never stop believing in yourself. This is all for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and to comment and everything, because we're really trying to grow this channel to give this kind of tips to more and more people. And if you like this content, if you have anything to say, just get in touch with me, leave a comment. If you know what kind of social media fail I'm talking about, you're welcome to, you know, talk about this with me. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for making it so far to the end of this video, and never stop believing in yourself. This is all it takes for being successful. Cheers.